My beloved soul, listen carefully. The greatest comfort on earth, building an unshakable relationship with God. Because what you are about to hear is not an accident, not a random message, and not something that appeared on your screen by chance. Heaven has been watching the quiet battles you fight when no one sees, the tears you wipe away before anyone notices, the prayers you whisper when the night grows heavy and silence fills the room. And today, God has something to say to you. Yes, to you, the one listening right now. The one who has been searching for peace that the world cannot give. Before we go deeper, let your heart respond to what heaven is doing in this moment. If your spirit feels even the slightest confirmation while hearing these words, type, "I receive this," in the comments as a declaration of faith. Like this message so that it may reach another soul who needs divine comfort. Subscribe and click the bell so you will not miss the moments when heaven speaks again. And if at any point your heart gently leads you to send a super thanks as a personal act of gratitude and faith, you may do so freely, but hear this clearly, my beloved soul, it is never pressure, never obligation, and never connected to receiving blessings or miracles. God's love cannot be purchased. His grace cannot be bought. His comfort flows freely to every heart that seeks Him. Now listen carefully, because something sacred is about to unfold. The greatest comfort on earth is not money, not recognition, not success, not even the approval of people. The greatest comfort on earth is an unshakable relationship with God. And if you feel a stirring inside you right now, it is because your soul recognizes this truth. My beloved soul, do not skip this moment, because what heaven is revealing right now may be exactly what your spirit has been longing to hear. Many people search the world for comfort. They chase achievements, relationships, possessions, and temporary pleasures, believing that somewhere out there they will finally feel whole. Yet the deeper truth is this: the human heart was never designed to find peace in temporary things. The heart was created to rest in God. That is why even when you accomplish something great, there is still a quiet emptiness whispering within you. That is why even when people surround you, there can still be loneliness. Because the deepest comfort of your soul does not come from the world. It comes from the presence of the one who created you. Psalm 62 verse 1 whispers this eternal truth: "Truly my soul finds rest in God, my salvation comes from Him." Hear that again in your spirit. Your soul finds rest in God. Not in approval. Not in achievement. Not in possessions. In God. My beloved soul, you were led here on purpose because heaven wants to rebuild something within you that the world has tried to shake. The world may shake your circumstances, but it cannot shake a heart anchored in God. Stay with me until the end, because heaven is not finished speaking to you yet. There have been seasons in your life when you felt distant from God. Moments when prayers seemed unanswered. Nights when silence surrounded your cries. And perhaps you wondered if heaven had forgotten you. But hear this clearly, my beloved soul, God has not forgotten you. Heaven is watching every step of your journey. Every tear you cried in private was seen. Every prayer whispered into the quiet was heard. The book of Psalm 34 verse 18 declares, "The Lord is close to the broken-hearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." That means even in the moments when you felt alone, God was closer than you realized. Sometimes the silence you experienced was not abandonment, it was preparation. Because an unshakable relationship with God is not built in moments of comfort alone. It is forged in seasons of waiting. It grows in moments of surrender. It deepens in the quiet places where faith learns to breathe even when answers have not yet arrived. My beloved soul, do not leave yet, because what heaven is revealing next may unlock something deep within you. An unshakable relationship with God begins when you stop chasing temporary comfort and start seeking eternal presence. The world teaches you to depend on visible things. God teaches you to depend on Him. The world says trust what you can see. God says trust what you cannot see yet. Hebrews 11 verse 1 declares, faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. That means when you choose to trust God even in uncertainty, you are building something inside your spirit that cannot be broken by storms. And storms will come, my beloved soul. Life will bring unexpected trials, disappointments, and moments that challenge your strength. But when your relationship with God becomes your foundation, storms lose their power to destroy you. They may shake the ground around you, but they cannot collapse the house built on God's presence. My beloved soul, remain here with me because heaven is revealing a sacred mystery. Many people believe that building a relationship with God requires perfection. They think they must become flawless before approaching Him. But listen carefully, because this is a truth your heart must hear. God does not ask for perfection. He asks for sincerity. The relationship God desires with you is not built on flawless behavior, it is built on genuine connection. Just as a loving father listens to his child, God listens to your heart. When you speak to Him honestly, when you bring your fears, doubts, hopes, and questions before Him, that is where intimacy begins. Jeremiah 29 verse 13 promises this, you will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. Not half your heart. Not distracted attention. All your heart. My beloved soul, heaven knows that you are learning. Heaven sees that you are trying. And God delights in every small step you take toward Him. Stay with me, because something powerful is waiting to be revealed before this message ends. One of the greatest deceptions the world teaches is that strength comes from independence. But the deeper truth is that true strength is born from dependence on God. When you lean on God, you discover a comfort that cannot be taken away by circumstances. Isaiah 26 verse 3 declares, you will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. Perfect peace does not come from controlling every situation. It comes from trusting the one who controls eternity. My beloved soul, imagine waking each morning knowing that God walks with you. Imagine facing uncertainty with the quiet assurance that heaven is guiding your steps. That is the unshakable relationship God invites you to experience. A relationship where fear loses its grip because faith has taken root. My beloved soul, do not skip ahead, because heaven still has more to reveal to your heart. There will be moments when your faith feels small. Days when doubts whisper louder than hope. But even then, God remains faithful. Your relationship with God is not sustained by your strength alone. It is sustained by His grace. 2 Corinthians 12 verse 9 says, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. That means your weakness does not disqualify you from God's presence. In fact, it often becomes the doorway through which His strength enters your life. Every time you turn to God instead of surrendering to despair, you are strengthening a connection that cannot be broken by the world. My beloved soul, remain with these words until the end, because the final revelation will touch something deep within you. Building an unshakable relationship with God is not about dramatic moments alone. It is about daily closeness. It is about whispering prayers in ordinary moments. It is about inviting God into your thoughts, your decisions, your fears, and your hopes. It is about learning to recognize His presence not only in miracles, but also in quiet guidance. Proverbs 3 verse 5 and 6 speaks this wisdom, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding, in all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. Notice the words, in all your ways. Not just in crisis. Not just in desperation. In all your ways. That is how an unshakable relationship grows. My beloved soul, stay here a little longer, because heaven is preparing to release a powerful assurance into your spirit. There is a comfort that comes when you realize you do not have to carry life alone. You do not have to understand everything. You do not have to solve every problem. God walks beside you. And when you build your life around His presence, a deep peace begins to settle within you. A peace that remains even when circumstances are uncertain. A peace that whispers, God is still in control. And hear this final prophetic truth, my beloved soul. The comfort you have been seeking, the peace your heart has been longing for, the reassurance your spirit has been crying out for, it is not far away. It is found in the presence of God. And as you draw closer to Him, He draws closer to you. Heaven sees your journey. Heaven honors your faith. And the prayers you have whispered in quiet moments are not lost in silence. They are rising before God even now. So lift your heart in faith, my beloved soul, because what you have been waiting for is closer than you think. God has not forgotten you. Heaven is moving in ways you cannot yet see. And the unshakable relationship you are building with Him will become the greatest comfort your soul will ever know. Peace is coming. Strength is rising. And divine fulfillment is drawing near. My beloved soul, listen closely, because heaven is still speaking, and what is unfolding now is not ordinary encouragement but sacred understanding. There is a reason your spirit is still here, listening, absorbing, waiting. This message is continuing because God is still revealing something deeper about the greatest comfort your soul can ever know. An unshakable relationship with Him is not merely a spiritual idea, it is the quiet sanctuary where your weary heart finally rests. Many people move through life searching for safety in changing things, but the heart that learns to dwell with God discovers a comfort that time cannot steal and circumstances cannot break. Psalm 91 verse 1 whispers this promise over your life, He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Hear that carefully, my beloved soul. The word dwell does not mean visit occasionally. It means remain. Stay. Live there. And when your spirit learns to dwell in God's presence, storms may surround you, but they cannot uproot you. Stay with me a little longer, because heaven is revealing something sacred that may shift the way you see your life. My beloved soul, do not skip this moment, because the next truth may unlock a door in your heart that has been closed for too long. Many people desire comfort, yet they unknowingly build their lives on fragile foundations. They depend on people who change, circumstances that shift, and expectations that crumble. But God is inviting you to build something eternal. Jesus spoke of this in Matthew 7 verse 24 when He said, Anyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. The rain came, the streams rose, and the winds blew, yet the house stood firm because its foundation was the rock. My beloved soul, that rock is your relationship with God. When your life is rooted there, disappointment may visit, but destruction cannot remain. The world may shake around you, but your spirit will remain anchored. Stay with me until the end, because heaven still has more to reveal to you. There are seasons when God allows silence in your life, and in those seasons it can feel confusing. You may wonder why prayers seem delayed, why answers take time, why doors remain closed longer than expected. But hear this carefully, my beloved soul. Silence is often the place where the deepest relationship with God is formed. In silence, distractions fade. In silence, your heart begins to listen. In silence, faith learns to trust without constant reassurance. Isaiah 40 verse 31 declares, "But those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles, they shall run and not grow weary, they shall walk and not faint." Waiting with God is never wasted time. Waiting is where strength quietly grows. Waiting is where your spirit learns that comfort is not found in immediate answers but in the presence of the one who holds your future. My beloved soul, remain here with me, because heaven is revealing another layer of truth that your heart must understand. There will be moments when life tests your trust in God. Situations may arise that you did not expect, paths may shift suddenly, and emotions may feel overwhelming. But these moments do not mean God has left you. Often, these are the very moments where your relationship with Him deepens. Just as roots grow deeper during storms, your faith becomes stronger during trials. Romans 8 verse 28 declares, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him." Notice the words "all things." Not just the pleasant moments. Not just the victories. Even the confusing seasons are being woven into a greater story that heaven is writing over your life. My beloved soul, do not leave yet, because heaven still has more to reveal before this message is complete. There is a quiet transformation happening inside you right now. You may not feel it fully yet, but your spirit is awakening to a deeper awareness of God's presence. The more you seek Him, the more you begin to notice His guidance in places you once overlooked. A sudden peace in the middle of anxiety. A gentle conviction guiding your decisions. A moment of unexpected strength when you thought you would collapse. These are not coincidences. These are whispers from heaven reminding you that God is closer than you realize. James 4 verse 8 promises, "Draw near to God and He will draw near to you." This is not a distant promise meant for a few chosen people. It is an invitation for you. Yes, you, the one listening right now. Stay with me a little longer, my beloved soul, because the next revelation may bring comfort to a part of your heart that has been hurting. Sometimes the deepest pain people carry comes from feeling unseen. They wonder if their struggles matter, if their prayers reach heaven, if their journey has meaning. But hear this clearly. Heaven is watching. Every step of your journey matters to God. Psalm 56 verse 8 says that God collects every tear you cry and records them in His book. Imagine that for a moment. The tears you thought were unnoticed were never ignored by heaven. They were seen. They were remembered. And in God's timing, those tears will become seeds of restoration. My beloved soul, do not skip ahead now, because something powerful is still waiting to be revealed. Building an unshakable relationship with God also means learning to trust His timing. The human heart often wants immediate answers, immediate change, immediate relief. But God's timing operates beyond human urgency. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 11 declares, "He has made everything beautiful in its time." Not in our impatience. Not in our fear. In His time. And when the moment arrives that God has prepared for you, the pieces of your journey will begin to align in ways that make sense. What once felt like delay will suddenly look like preparation. What once felt like silence will suddenly reveal itself as divine positioning. My beloved soul, remain here until the end, because heaven is about to release a final encouragement into your spirit. The comfort of God's presence is not something fragile. It is something eternal. When you walk with God daily, when you speak with Him honestly, when you surrender your worries into His hands, something beautiful begins to grow within you. A quiet confidence. A steady peace. A strength that does not depend on circumstances. And people around you may not understand where that peace comes from. They may wonder how you remain calm in the middle of uncertainty. But the answer is simple, my beloved soul. Your comfort comes from the presence of God. And hear this final prophetic assurance as this message draws to a close. The prayers you have whispered, the faith you have held on to, the hope you refuse to release even in difficult seasons, none of it has been wasted. God has been working behind the scenes in ways your eyes could not yet see. Heaven has been arranging moments, preparing doors, aligning circumstances, and strengthening your spirit for what lies ahead. Psalm 16 verse 11 declares, "In your presence there is fullness of joy, at your right hand are pleasures forevermore." That presence is not distant. It is near. It is surrounding you even now. So lift your heart with faith, my beloved soul. The greatest comfort on earth is not something you must chase endlessly. It is something you can build every day as you walk with God. And as your relationship with Him grows stronger, you will discover a peace that cannot be shaken, a hope that cannot be stolen, and a joy that no circumstance can remove. God has not forgotten you. Heaven is still guiding your steps. And the answers your heart has been waiting for are closer than you think. Remain in His presence, trust His timing, and walk forward with quiet confidence, because divine fulfillment is approaching, and the comfort of God will hold your life steady through every season that lies ahead. My beloved soul, listen carefully, because heaven is still speaking to you even in this quiet continuation. The journey toward an unshakable relationship with God is not a single moment of inspiration, it is a sacred path that unfolds day by day, breath by breath, prayer by prayer. And there is something your spirit must understand right now. The comfort you receive from God is not temporary relief. It is divine stability. It is the quiet strength that holds you when life feels uncertain. It is the unseen hand guiding you when the road ahead looks unclear. Many people believe comfort means the absence of struggle, but heaven reveals a deeper truth. True comfort is knowing that even in struggle, you are never alone. My beloved soul, if you feel something stirring inside you as these words reach your heart, it is because your spirit recognizes that God is drawing you closer than ever before. My beloved soul, do not skip this moment, because something sacred is being revealed to you right now. There have been nights when you questioned your direction. Days when you wondered whether your faith was strong enough. Moments when the weight of life pressed heavily on your shoulders. But hear this clearly, heaven never expected you to carry your burdens alone. 1 Peter 5 verse 7 speaks directly into your situation. Cast all your anxiety on Him because He cares for you. Notice those final words, because He cares for you. Not in a distant way. Not in a vague spiritual concept. God cares about the details of your life. The worries that keep you awake. The fears that sometimes whisper louder than faith. The dreams you are afraid to speak out loud. My beloved soul, every one of those things matters to God. Stay with me until the end, because heaven is preparing to release a deeper understanding into your spirit. When you begin building a truly unshakable relationship with God, something beautiful begins to happen within you. You slowly stop measuring your worth by the approval of people. You stop allowing temporary setbacks to define your identity. Instead, you begin to see yourself through God's eyes. And through His eyes, you are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not insignificant. You are chosen. Ephesians 1 verse 4 reminds us of this eternal truth, for he chose us in him before the foundation of the world. Think about that for a moment, my beloved soul. Before your first breath, before your first prayer, before your first struggle, God already knew you. And still he chose you. My beloved soul, remain here a little longer, because heaven is revealing something that may change the way you see your past. There are experiences in your life that left deep marks on your heart. Moments of disappointment, loss, or betrayal that made you question whether healing was possible. But God never wastes a single chapter of your story. Even the painful seasons are being transformed into testimony. Romans 8 verse 18 says, "The sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us." The trials you faced were not the end of your story. They were preparation. They were shaping your spirit, deepening your faith, and guiding you toward a relationship with God that cannot be shaken by the opinions or actions of others. My beloved soul, do not leave yet, because heaven still has more to reveal before this message reaches its final moment. One of the most beautiful aspects of walking closely with God is discovering His voice in everyday life. His voice is not always thunder. Sometimes it is a gentle whisper guiding your heart. Sometimes it is a quiet conviction reminding you of truth. Sometimes it is a sudden peace settling over your mind in the middle of chaos. John 10 verse 27 declares, "My sheep listen to my voice, I know them, and they follow me." When your relationship with God deepens, you begin to recognize these subtle movements of His presence. And slowly, your life becomes less about reacting to circumstances and more about responding to divine guidance. My beloved soul, stay with me because heaven is about to reveal something powerful that many people overlook. An unshakable relationship with God transforms the way you see the future. Instead of fearing what might happen tomorrow, you begin to trust the one who already stands in tomorrow. Your hope stops depending on human predictions and begins resting in divine promises. Jeremiah 29 verse 11 speaks this promise over your life, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Notice the certainty in those words. God does not say He might have plans. He says He knows the plans. Your life is not drifting aimlessly. Heaven is guiding your steps even when the path feels unclear. My beloved soul, do not skip this final stretch, because something deeply comforting is about to be spoken into your heart. There will still be days when life feels uncertain. Even with faith, you may face moments of weakness. But an unshakable relationship with God means that even in weakness, your spirit remains anchored. When doubts appear, you return to prayer. When fear whispers, you return to God's promises. When exhaustion surrounds you, you return to His presence. Psalm 46 verse 1 declares, "God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble." A very present help. That means God does not arrive late. He does not appear only after everything is solved. He is present in the middle of the storm, holding you steady even when the winds grow strong. My beloved soul, remain with these words until the final moment, because heaven is now speaking directly to the deepest part of your spirit. The greatest comfort on earth is not something the world can offer. It is the quiet assurance that your life is held in the hands of a loving God. When you build your relationship with Him daily, something miraculous begins to unfold. Your fears slowly lose their power. Your anxieties begin to soften. Your perspective begins to change. And suddenly you realize that the peace you once searched for in distant places has been growing quietly within you all along. And now, my beloved soul, hear this final prophetic declaration over your life. The prayers you have spoken in faith, the moments you chose trust over fear, the times you turned toward God instead of walking away, heaven has seen every one of them. Your relationship with God is becoming stronger than you realize. Roots are growing deep beneath the surface of your life. And just as a tree with deep roots stands firm through storms, your spirit will stand firm through every season ahead. Philippians 4 verse 7 promises something beautiful, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. That peace is beginning to guard your heart even now. So lift your spirit with quiet confidence, my beloved soul. What you have been praying for is not lost. What you have been waiting for is not forgotten. God is working in ways your eyes cannot yet see. Heaven is aligning moments, strengthening your faith, and preparing blessings that will arrive at the perfect time. The comfort of God's presence will continue to surround you. His guidance will continue to lead you. His love will continue to hold you steady. And one day, perhaps sooner than you expect, you will look back and realize something powerful. The greatest comfort on earth was never found in the world around you. It was found in the relationship you built with God. A relationship that carried you through silence. A relationship that strengthened you in waiting. A relationship that filled your soul with peace when everything else seemed uncertain. So walk forward with faith, my beloved soul. Heaven is watching. God has not forgotten you. And the divine fulfillment you have been praying for is drawing nearer with every step you take in His presence. Let peace rest upon your heart now, let hope rise within your spirit, and let your faith remain steady, because the God who walks beside you today will also guide you into every promise that awaits tomorrow. Type Amen.